I'm going to give you the opportunity for your last sales pitch.
All right.
I'm not totally undecided. I'm a Biden supporter. He
Oh.
might not be viable. Why should I select you over John Edwards?
It's a great question. First of all, I think Joe Biden's a great guy. And I've enjoyed my service with him, and I think he's run a fine campaign. And he may not be viable. I don't know, what the situation is in the caucus in your precinct and in this area. If you are then choosing between myself and John Edwards, then I would say this. I think John is a fine person with a beautiful family who's run a very good campaign. But I would say that if you look at the track records of who has really brought about change when they were in a position to do it, then I think I can make a claim that you can trust, you can count on. So when I was in the Senate, I fought and got the power of lobbyists reduced. That's not something that John invested in, even though he's talking about it a lot now. When I talk about getting troops out of Iraq, I was opposed to the war at the start when it was unpopular to be against the war. John was for it. When we talk about trade, and I say we've got to have strong labor and environmental agreements in our trade agreements, I didn't support NAFTA, didn't vote for permanent trade relations for China. John did. When I talk about the hardships of working families, and that some of them, for no fault of their own, because they got sick, become bankrupt. And there were laws that were passed, pushed by the credit card companies that made it harder to get out of bankruptcy. And John voted for that provision. I have rejected similar provisions. On No Child Left Behind, he and Hillary had a chance to vote to say we won't implement it unless it's properly funded. He rejected that. Now, I'm saying this only because I think you have to take a look at where somebody's been to know where they're going. He says now that those were mistakes, and I have no reason to doubt that he believes that. But I guess the point I'm making is that in my gut, there is a consistency of who I'm fighting for, what I believe in, the choices I've made in my life, that can give you some assurance that when I get into the White House, I'm going to be fighting for you. And I'm not going to be different as time goes on. And that, I think, is important. You've got to trust somebody because there's a unique opportunity. We have a shot at really doing something important this time, and you got to trust that person.
I thought he made a convincing argument. Which is going to be the biggest element of change? Who's going to be the catalyst? And I believe that is Barack Obama. If Biden's not viable, I'll be with Obama.